Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here, and we are going into the last war of season 34, and this is everything's on the line. We win this, we get masters, we lose, we fail, we get platinum 1, we totally miss our goal. We got Miss-Tic, Dispersion in play, Defiance, offensive tactic, and got a fun war video. There's no thing on this video, so if you like my thing play, it's great. It's not going to be the one for you. If you don't like thing, then maybe this will be interest of you. So I have using 2 attackers. I got 6 fights, iAbom and Warlock. Now we're up against SAS Super Andromeda Scrolls. They're a really solid alliance, and they were slightly ahead of us in the rankings. I mean they put out a great effort this war. They were definitely not shooting to just kind of tank or lose or anything like that. Even though if they did lose, they would still secure masters. But yeah, so they put up a solid fight, and we had to play clean and get a solid plan. And let's see what we got. So we got Torch, Spider-Man 2099, and Ghost Band. My team today is White Mags. He's just going to be there for some pre-fights for myself and for a teammate. I'm on path 1. This is node 4. It's got a SpiderHam, Reinvigorated, Fury, Personal Space, and Indomitable. So when I'm close to this guy, he's going to get that healing. We can't reverse it, but we can block it. And so we're just going to go in with Warlock. We got tech boost on. We have an invuln boost on. We're not going to throw any specials in this fight. The whole plan is to just parry heavy and block the healing when we get infection up. He'll get power drained, power control him, and only hit him while under the stun. So we're going to be getting power, but because of the porker poppers and stuff while we hit him under the stun that we can get, like right there, we don't want to be throwing any specials and taking big nasty chunks of damage. So the bleeds and the regen being on him and being infected just will continually drain him of his power. So I really don't have to worry about specials, and I have max deep wounds as well. So we had the White Mags on there just to make sure that, limber wasn't going to be a concern. Parry heavy would be just nice and safe. I wouldn't have to worry about being late on it. That was the main purpose of the White Mags there. Now we have the Masochism overtime and Indomitable on node 13. This is an Apocalypse. This also has the Reinvigorated Fury. I think I missed having that on the label. I'll have to make note of that for next time. But I didn't apply White Mags. I really don't care about the Masochism. I will trigger some regens when I parry, and the Masochism is available, which is actually not bad because that's just going to help keep his power control in check. So I'll just have to reparry, double parry, and then I have tech boost on, and hoping that I can just cycle a few L2s and take this guy down. And here we trigger Masochism, eats up the armor breaks. We don't get a ton of power back on that one. And there's going to be a point here where I parry when I think I didn't. Yeah, it was right there. And I was thinking that Masochism was going to trigger, but it didn't. I think it didn't trigger because of infection. And so I should have just stayed back. But there we get a special 2 off with a bunch of the armor breaks. We get a bunch of the power back, and then we get another one, and we take care of the apocalypse. So fairly simple, straightforward fight. Just really do need to be mindful of Masochism and whether it applies or not. And the invuln boost helped me save a potion or 2 there. So then we're gonna move up. I think I do put a White Mags on this. Yeah, I put a White Mags on this man thing for my teammate. Could have taken it with iAbom, but we had other plans. So we're gonna move up to section 2. Now I move up to this Iron Man Infinity War, and then I back up. So I'm on boss duty today, so I had a lot of extra energy that I would be waiting for when the boss was going to be down and I was going to boost for the rest of my fights. So that just kind of helped move stuff along, although we had some coordination issues, and you can see we have 2 hours left. I put a potion in Warlock because I have one more fight with him. I put on a 6-hour big 30% boost. This is the one that we think we get at the beginning of the season through like the milestones or whatever. Had been saving it for just the right occasion, and War 12, Masters on the Line, boss duty, this is the one to use it on. So we're gonna put on Science power back boost. We got a special one, power start 1 boost on. This is strike counter, block penetration, and hard knock life. So we're gonna start out just blocking, baiting his heavy, baiting some openings to get in and get our combo hits in, and then parry heavy, and then get another blocked hit and go for the special 2. So we do get 1 block penetration there, but we get a bunch of power back, and then once we get the aura up, the toxic aura, then it's just spam special ones, and this SymSupreme will melt. iAbom is a great Defiance champ. We don't have to worry about buffs, we don't have to worry about getting nullified, and SymSupreme goes down fairly easily. I always recommend, like, recommend a power start 1 boost for strike counter. Like, if you really don't want to have to mess with it too much, power start 1 boost really helps with strike counters on both lane 2 in section 1 and 2. So now we got strike counter, block penetration, then under pressure we dash back twice within like 1.2 seconds. We'll get a disorient on us, so we're going to keep that in mind. I did a few duels to see, like, when I normally play Havok, do I dash back twice a lot? You know, if he throws a special 1, then we're going to evade it. But other than that, I was like, nah, we got this. So similar strategy. We're just going to counter his heavies with a heavy or short combos, build up to this special 2, and launch it. We got a bunch of armor breaks. We're willpower draining him through the infection, and we get another heavy off, 18k crit on that heavy, and we're gonna get back to another special 2 with the power back boosts, and Havok gets rinsed. So pretty simple, straightforward one on that, especially with the power back boosts. I didn't have to throw like a special 1 or anything like that. Special 2s, getting those armor breaks on were really nice. So then we're gonna move up to the island. The boss wasn't ready yet, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna take those fights because I was toggling back the science to the tech to the science boost. It's like I can just wait here while we're waiting for a teammate to apply some pre-fights and whatnot. But I have this hazard shift, incinerate, poison, stun immune, mini boss, node 49 Mojo. So I go in, and because everything wasn't aligned and it was a close war, but it wasn't certain as to the result quite yet. I am going to adjust my masteries. It cost me about 50 or so units. I took off like the Stupefy and a few of the masteries in the utility tree that weren't going to help me with the stun immune fight on this Mojo and the boss, and I just reallocated them to extra willpower and resonate and energy resistance on the defensive tree. So I have a science boost on again. I have a special 3 defense boost on just in case I get special 3'd, and I'm doing a power start 1. So we're gonna wait out the incinerate phase. I was hoping he'd be a little bit more passive there, and we're just gonna hit into the block, hit into the block, hit into the block, and then once poison phase comes up, then we're gonna go at it, because we can take the poisons. Too many incinerates can be problematic. You can see we're building up our poisons very quickly. We get to a special 2 and didn't really have an opening to throw that, and so we're just gonna wait out this incinerate phase as much as we can. Do hit him once. We get 1 incinerate on. It's not the biggest deal, and then we're back to poison. We throw off the special 2. We get the aura up, and then we're trying to get him possibly to throw a special. It's being really stingy. We throw our special 1. He's a special 2. We get acid burn going, just melting him away, and then we just need him to throw a special. We're trying to keep an eye out on the prompts, but it's not that big of a deal. But now we're cornered. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna have to dex around, and finally he will end up throwing the special 2 right here. Dex the first part. We have the whole block, and I should have just held block and completed the prompt. I missed dexing the special 2, and then we're in Incinerate phase, and I just go for it to like get out of the corner and get a whole bunch of Incinerates on me and take a bunch of damage as well. But now we're back in poison, and he's almost dead. So while we took some damage, not the cleanest fight. Really depends on how aggressive the AI is, but it worked out fine. It'll cost me 2 health potions, not the biggest deal. But iAbom just totally destroys that Mojo. And then last up, this is last fight of the season. Put in a couple health potions to heal up iAbom. We got all those same boosts on. We put guidance on. This is my last white magnetos for the 15% extra attack. And we also have suppression, all 3 of the Mr. Fantastic debuffs from one of my buddies, Sherry. Thank you very much. And I practiced countering his heavy with my heavy so that I could refresh the Mr. Fan debuffs to help with like the power gain, and then the debuff cipher is going to enhance the poisons that I put on him. There you can see we countered his heavy with our heavy, and then we're just going to do medium, light, hard block. And that is going to prevent him hopefully from throwing the special ones. We don't want him to get too much hatred. You see my wife sent me a message right in the fight. She bypasses all my do not disturb, so even though I had DND on, she bypasses it because she's special. And that kind of threw me off a little bit with my rhythm. But we're going well here, and I think I'm gonna get hit somewhere in here. I can't remember, on a heavy. But we've kept the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights going. We have acid burn up, and then here, this is where I'm just like, I should have just pushed into special 2 and thrown a special 1 quicker, because the poisons are going to wear off and the ore is going to run off. Here we're trying to bait out. Yeah, we're trying to bait out a special 2, and that's where we ate a heavy attack. Took quite a bit of damage. And they're all the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights fell off there. We're back to a special 2. We don't have any poisons but 1 on us, so we really need to get back to a special 1. And I don't know what it was, but I should have been retaliating his hitting into my block. I kept on just waiting for the heavies, and I should have just retaliated with him just hammering into the block. But we take him down, 1 hit received, get the solo, and our battle group did really solid. We only died once, which is great. We were hoping that we could get the goose egg donut, but it wasn't the case for this one. But our defense put up some work, took out 3 of their defenders. So here I'm just putting back my masteries to what they normally were. So again, it costs me like 53 units overall to kind of swap out my masteries, just to kind of give me that extra boost for those fights. But there we go. We won our group, battle group 1 to 3, which was nice. And yes, we did win. We beat SAS. The final score was 6 to 4. So it was a very close war, pretty competitive, and we got the win that we really needed. We finally put everything together. 4 deaths is pretty solid effort, and so we end up with a 6-6 500 record. We moved up 2 spots to number 16 overall in Masters. And then as far as my stats, 6 fights, 6 kills, 0 deaths. And as the season, I had 78 fights, 78 kills, and the 1 death. Definitely could have been a deathless season, because the 1 death that I had was just on a silly, stupid fight that was very easy, and I just made a mistake, but it happens sometimes. So it is what it is. And then here are my items that I used. Quite a few for this war, but you know, everything was counting on this war being won, so I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna slack at all on items and boosts that were gonna be used. And you can see the total for the season. Quite a few boosts, gray boosts all around. I didn't have to use, you know, too much loyalty. I felt like I actually gained loyalty over this season. You can see I used 161 units total. Those were for 2 mastery changes, 1 revive for the 1 death that I had, and a number of class boosts and stuff. But overall, pretty normal season as far as items used, and successful, so it's good. And then here's my collage of all my fights taken, all my attackers used. Thing was my number 1 attacker with 25 fights, which was about a third of my fights that I was taking, that I took. Massacre, 20 fights, and then, you know, mix between iAbom, Warlock, got a bunch of action towards the end of the season. CGR, he had 1 big war with 5 fights, and then kind of mixed in between Nimrod, Nebula, Yellow Jacket, and White Mag. So, and you can see all the defenders that I took down. Most encountered defender was Longshot, number of Dormammu's and Apocs as well. So, and Surfer, they all had five appearances. And then here, I'm gonna show the end results. You can see Master 6, this is in the second bracket, so that's number 16 overall. Great job to GT40, XK9 and D69, they were the number 1, 2, 3 on the podium. And you see all of the Masters slots in the first bracket. We fought a number of Masters alliances, 9 total. And this is the original leaderboard. There weren't any docks or any adjustments in Masters. I think there were a few in Platinum 1, 2. I didn't really re-record those since Masters didn't get changed, but yeah, no docks, which is a little bit surprising, but you know, it's fine. We got Masters, and that's all that really matters. So I'm gonna let this go through. We got the rewards that we wanted. We hit the goal we wanted. We definitely could have played better. There were wars that we could have, that we just had mess ups. People dying to stuff that really shouldn't have been deaths to. And yeah, that's all, you know. Compared to last season, we made Masters top 10. This season, just Masters top 20, and it was really a one war difference. So we were 6-6 this season, 7-5 last season, and you know, depending on your points and your attack bonuses, 7-5 would have been enough to get into the top 10. But yeah, we're just scrolling through the leaderboard. This is just for historical reference if anybody ever wants to see this. But yeah, we're pretty stoked that we could hit Masters again. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort and planning. I appreciate all our officers. I helped plan in Battle Group 2. A lot of work and effort and time put into that. So when we can use that time and hit our goals, it's really nice. To get what you know that you planned for. And then here I'm going to showcase the rewards that I opened up. So we get the rank 4 materials, we get a Nexus, we get 40,000 shards, and then we get 25% catalysts. And then you can see here's the rewards. Again, number 16 overall. Nice chunk of the tier 5 basic as well, which is always welcome. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, you know what? I should probably go over into my stash and look at maybe what I need. You can see that the tier 6 basics that I get will actually put me to my 3rd tier 6 basic, which is nice, but I'm still short. I'm still going to be short by just a smidge on the tier 3 alpha to get my next rank 4. So I'll basically get what is needed and then some next week when Eternity of Pain finishes up and we get those rewards. So you'll see a new rank 4 on my account in the middle of next week. So I was debating on like what I needed. I am taking up Nimrod, so you can see I only have 1 of 3 of the tech. So I'm going to take 1 tech, and I think I take a skill to form that, and then I love science class, so I take the rest of the 2 in the science class. So solid rewards. You know, sometimes I question whether or not it's worth all the effort and time as an officer to do all this stuff, but yeah, we'll see. We're gonna keep plugging away with this. There you can see we formed our second tier 5 class of tech. We're gonna form a tier 5 class of skill, and then we're just gonna dump the extras, as I mentioned, into science, just because science is my favorite, and there's a lot of champs that I would like to rank up in science still that I have, and there's still a few champs that I would love to get, such as Spider-Man 2099. Great. So yeah, we skip those rewards, and then we're gonna go open up the Nexus. We're not gonna open up the 6-star shards. We're saving those for the next featured. While I have this sigil on that I got from the Sigil Witch arena, I did both of the arenas and got the free sigil for that. While we have that on, I'm getting like the 1 discounted feature like once per week. But other than that, I'm not spending any of my shards on basics or featured. So here, this is the Nexus. Put in the spinner, quick tap, it pops open, and we get Stark, an Awakening on Captain Marvel, or Awakening on Skrull. So Captain Marvel, she's rank 2. Skrull, he's rank 3. He's actually one of my defenders. You can see I put a timer on this because I went into line and I was going up to boys. I'm like, should I awaken Super Skrull since he's one of my defenders? And I was like, or do I pick Stark? Stark, he's an awesome champ, and I really wanted to get him. He's a new champ. You know, back in the day, I loved playing with Stark, Blade, and Ghost Rider, that holy trinity. I don't have Stark as a rank 5. He's just been a rank 4. I mainly used a lot of Blade and Ghost Rider, but Stark at rank 4 back in the day was plenty. You can see like how long I was debating, and I was talking with my my officers online on my PC, and after much debate, I just decided that I would go with Stark Spider-Man. So while it'd be nice to get the Awakening and it'd probably help the defense a little bit, I just went with Stark. I think he'll be valuable in the future, and picked up a new champ. So pretty happy with that. Again, I didn't open up any of the 6-star shards. I'm saving those. As of right now, I have over 80,000 or so. I'm hoping, you know, over the next month or so, I can get that number up quite a bit so that I can have plenty to open. And here's just a quick look. These are the stats that I keep for our alliance. These are the matchup stats, who we beat, you know, what their end rank was, and like our fight duration, which is not something that we focus on. As you can see, we definitely get smoked in the fight duration. We focus on kills though. And then here's the stats from our individual stats from our group. I grayed out everybody's name except mine, but here's the details of mine. 78 fights. I ended up having only 3 defender kills this season, but overall pretty well. And then here's another interesting thing. So if you're aware, there's like an Alliance War matchup room. I'm not in it, but one of my Alliance mates, he helps run that. And I took a bunch of the data and the matchups that they had in there just to kind of see how matchmaking benefited or hurt some alliances. As far as us, we had 9 matchups against final master contenders, 3 against Platinum 1 alliances, but you can see like GT40, their strength of schedule is, and this is all relative. This is not like super complicated as far as like how I did it, but I just summed up the total rankings, final rankings of everyone, and then did an average, and then did a ranking of that average within the top 20, or is that 21. There were more alliances that could have been put into here, but there were some matchups that were missing. You can see everybody has 12 matchups recorded except Paulo. The first 3 wars, we didn't know who they matched, so I don't have like all of their info. But it's really interesting to see that, on the podium, you have XK9 and D69. As many know, they alliance swap. So D69 is ISO 8 when they flip-flop every season, and then XK9, they got X plus K9, X minus K9. You see, like, they had some pretty favorable matchmaking, particularly D69. We did face D69, and we lost to them. Fair and square. We had a terrible war, to be honest, and we had a lot of issues that war with, like, just availability of people to plan and actually execute the plan. We had a lot of people moving on vacations and stuff, but all that aside, it was really interesting. They faced a P4 alliance and a P3 and a P2. So yeah, really interesting. You can pause this, look at this. There's probably a lot more data that could be crunched and split into all kinds of different ways. I just want to get a quick overview of like how the matchmaking fared for us and for some others in Masters. And you can see, overall, we fought pretty much a lot of alliances in Masters. One of the 3 P1 alliances was MIBR right there at the 21st spot, the first spot in Platinum. And as far as like this strength, we had like basically 9th ranked strength of schedule in the Masters, just according to like just as final rankings that can all be debated as far as the actual strength of schedule. There's probably a bunch of different metrics that could be put into all of this, but it's just a simplistic approach. But yeah, TCN and Salty, the only alliances that had every war against another Masters alliance. Yeah, so anyways, thought this was interesting to share and just take a look at. Would be really nice. I mean, we didn't have any rematches this season, but I really wish that rematches weren't a thing within the season. Like, there's plenty of alliances to match, and I wish matchmaking would just let you play a little bit of everybody, a little bit easier. But yeah, that's it for season 34. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back for season 35. We're gonna shoot for Masters again. This was my 4th Masters finish in the last 5 seasons. So I'm looking for my 5th to get that next little badge to say, hey, you've got Masters 5 times. Yeah, thanks for watching, fellas, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.